to conclude, let's just quickly go through these divisional round playoff games. Let's start off hot. Let's go with probably the game of the week. The Bills versus the Chiefs. Mahomes versus Josh Allen. Who's going to win? Who's going to go to the AFC Championship? This has probably been the most watched, most hyped QB matchup of the last few years. Either Mahomes and Allen or Mahomes and Burrow have been the two marquee QB matchups last few years. Probably Burrow took the lead last few years, but Josh Allen, everyone remembers that divisional round classic with where they changed the overtime rules and Mahomes drove the Chiefs down with like 17 seconds to tie the game to send it overtime. Everyone remembers that classic. Who do I think is going to win this one? I don't know, man. The Bills are on a super nice hot streak. They won 6 in a row. Josh Allen probably had his best game in a month against the Steelers, but it was without TJ Watt. So you got to take that into consideration. In the end, I think Mahomes wins this weekend and just kills all the Bills' Mafia morale. He probably kills a little piece inside of Josh Allen this weekend. He gets this win this weekend and just kills the soul and the spirit of Bills Mafia and Josh Allen. And then the Bills go into a mini rebuild. They fire their coach. They might move, Stephon Diggs. We got to figure out what the hell is going on with him the second half of the season. And, could that be the next landing spot for Bill Belichick now that the Cowboys job looks like it's not going to become available? I think that's what happens. I think Josh Allen just finishes this chapter, finishes this battle that has been going on with Josh Allen. He closes that book. He closes that chapter. He's like, you know what? Take a year or two to rebuild, change your team up a little bit, and then we can meet again. But I think Mahomes will go into Bills Mafia Stadium and get the dub this weekend. That's my prediction. Pacheco goes off, establishes a run. Rice has come on the last few weeks, last half of the season, and Mahomes and the Chiefs get it done. And it'll be crazy because it'll be in Buffalo. The Bills finally get this game at home in the playoffs. But I don't know. I think Mahomes is destined to play against Lamar Jackson in the next round to really duke it out. And let's just go to that game now. So now the Ravens versus the Texans. I think Lamar Jackson will finally get to an AFC Championship. He will beat CJ Stroud, and it will set up this once-in-a-lifetime matchup against Mahomes. Because at that point, I think that we'll have announced who's the MVP. Should be Lamar Jackson. Mahomes, 2-time MVP, the youngest QB ever to win 2 MVPs. Lamar Jackson at that time against the current youngest quarterback to win 2 MVPs, duking it out for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And, QB, the best QB title. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Mahomes gets through Allen, he closes that chapter, and then he has a new challenger waiting for him in Lamar Jackson. He gets it through. Although it's been, by the time they play this weekend, it'll be 3 weeks since their last snap. I think Lamar Jackson's just that locked in. He's a better thrower than he's ever been. They do have Andrews back. The other tight end, Isaiah Likely, has been pretty serviceable since Andrews went down. We got good wide receivers in Flowers and OBJ, and I just think this is it. This is the time that Lamar Jackson wins, goes to the AFC Championship, and then when we get there, I'll make my prediction for that. But I do think Lamar Jackson at least gets there this year. Then we'll see what happens. But Mahomes closes that chapter with Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson wins his second MVP, gets over CJ Stroud and the Texans, and they set up a just ridiculous matchup in the AFC Championship game. But CJ Stroud puts up a fight. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think CJ Stroud and the Texans are going to go to Baltimore and they're going to put up a fight. I have CJ Stroud already as my 3rd or 4th quarterback in the league. He's that good. I've been that impressed by him. He's a dog. He's generational. He's everything People thought Trevor Lawrence was gonna be he's just commanding the pocket, commanding the team, the offense, the huddle. Like he just carries himself so good from the game to the press conferences to any interview you see of him going into any show, whoever he talks to, whether it be Pat McAfee, whether it be an on-field reporter, the press in the press conference, whoever he talks to, he just looks super mature and composed, eloquent. He looks like what a franchise quarterback should look like. So with all that being said, I think he goes into Baltimore and he balls out. He concludes the best rookie QB season ever with a bang, with that, with the loss against the Ravens. But I think he puts on the show. He might even have a better game than Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson has that beast defense behind him. He might even outdo Lamar Jackson. But I think the Ravens are getting through. The Ravens are getting through no matter what. I think it's their year. I feel like it's their year. But I think CJ Stroud balls out. He goes out with his head held high, and he, finishes his rookie year with a great showing against the Ravens. But unfortunately, they lose. So the NFC side, I think, is a little more cutthroat. I think the Bucs are the worst team remaining in the NFL. Not taking anything away from them, but I think they're the worst team. I think the Lions are low-key the team of destiny, and everyone's behind the Lions. Everyone's behind Dan Campbell. Everyone likes Jared Goff revenge, story, comeback season, comeback last few years. One coach gave up on him, another one believes him. You're everything the Lions, or you're good enough for Detroit, is what Dan Campbell said. You're good enough for Detroit. Goosebumps when I heard that. Such a dope coach, such a dope story, Goff. And I think they get through the Bucs. They go to the NFC Championship. I got the Lions beating the Buccaneers. And the last matchup, this is probably the most controversial, the most the one that could have the craziest storylines when it comes to Monday. Because obviously the Chiefs and the Bills QB storylines throughout. Ravens, CJ Stroud, that one could have crazy storylines. Actually, a lot of these could have crazy storylines. But if the 49ers lose to the Packers and they miss out on another Super Bowl run with this stacked roster, I think that's the leading topic on most shows on Monday. I think that's what most shows open up on Monday with. No matter what happens in the other games, if the 49ers lose to the Packers, I think that's the first topic that most shows are going to open up with. Now, do I think they're going to lose? I mean, I don't know. I live here in the Bay Area, and it's going to rain on Saturday. It's going to rain. It looks like it's going to be ugly weather. It's going to rain tomorrow, Friday. It's going to rain. It's going to rain on Friday. It's going to rain on Saturday. It's going to rain on Sunday. It's going to rain on Monday. So the likelihood that it rains during the game is pretty high because it's going to rain the whole weekend, 4 days in a row. That's what the forecast says. Who does that help? Probably the Packers, who play in cold weather, who their team is used to playing in inclement weather. But the 49ers are going to have their fans behind them. So, and they do have the better team. Do they have the better quarterback? I don't think so. Purdy had a great season, but I think Love has made such an ascension, such an improvement the second half of the season that I would say Love is a better quarterback right now. I do have this simple rule. Usually in the playoffs, I go for the quarterback, the team that has the best quarterback. In my opinion, Love is better than Purdy right now. But do I see it, man? Are the Packers the team of destiny? That's the real question. Like, if they get through the 49ers, who's to say they don't beat the Lions in the NFC Championship game? But unfortunately, I am going to have to go. I'm not a 49er fan. I'm a free agent fan. I will have to go with the 49ers. They get through the Packers. I think the Packers put a valiant effort. I don't think the 49ers I don't think it gets away from the Packers. I think they're in it to the end, in the rain. But in the end, I think Purdy makes enough plays. It's going to come down to like Packers making a field goal to make it a one-possession game, and the 49ers have to run out the clock. McCaffrey gets those couple first downs. Game over. 49ers escape. Bring the Lions to town next week. I think that's the scenario that I think plays out. But so those are my teams. I think Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, 49ers. Those are my picks for the divisional round in the NFL playoffs. Let me know what you guys think.